After having used this Apple Vision Pro for about 2 weeks, in this video, I want to talk about the bad, the good, and what the future of this device can really be. Let's start off with some of the painful stuff because there were a lot when it came to this Apple Vision Pro. I'm going to split it up between things that you can kind of get used to and things that still hurt me to this day. Now, the first thing that you can get used to is the weight. This guy is a monstrous 600 grams. When my friends came over to try it, the first thing that they all said was, whoa, this is kind of heavy. And it is. But it wasn't something that you couldn't get used to. A few neck exercises, having some head support. When you get used to the weight, it's not as jarring as the first time you do it. And I found myself being able to wear this for about an hour, whereas the first time I ever tried to put it on, I could only wear for about 10-15 minutes. Number 2 is motion sickness. The first time I tried it on, I got a little bit of motion sickness, and with the added pain from the weight, the next day I had really bad headaches. Don't walk too fast, don't turn your head too fast. But again, this is something that you can get used to. But now let's talk about the things that you can't get used to. Number 1 is the price. I got the cheapest version. No optical inserts, no carrying case, no extra storage. Everything base model after tax costs just over $3,800. Might as well just round that up to 4K. That's not even girl math. For 4K, you could pay for a month's of rent in New York. You can go on a nice lavish vacation. You can buy 2 MacBook Pros. That's a lot of money that you can do a lot of things for $4,000. The second thing that hurts are my eyes. These guys dry out my eyes so fast. I usually wear glasses, so in order to use these guys, I have to put in contacts. My eyes already hurt as it is today, staring at all the screens that I do for my full-time job to relax after the workday. I'm on my phone. I have screens in front of me all the time. Those are child's play compared to strapping this bad boy on, because now the screen are literally right in front of your eyes. That's number 1. Number 2, this is a pretty closed off environment. It's not like airtight, but they try to create a very dark environment for you. And so there's not much air circulation going on in there either. And so on top of these screens being right in front of you, it gets hot in there. This thing is kind of like an eye oven. You have all the computers that are in here. And one time, I even got the Vision Pro's fans to kick in. I didn't even know there were fans in there, but the top gets pretty hot, and when the fans kick in, you feel the hot air coming out. So when you have this combination of screens with the brightness, with the closed environment, with the heat, right in front of your eyes get super dry. I could only do about an hour max, no matter how used to the weight I got with this. And at the end of the night, when I pop my contacts out, usually my eyes still have a little bit of moisture left. Maybe it takes a few tries for me to actually get a grip on my contact lenses. Nuh-uh. After using this, they were so dry, I was able to get it first try right away. My contacts have never felt drier in my life. And that's just the experience of wearing this and getting used to it. So, what is it even good for? What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Now, after having used this for 2 weeks, I can say it's good for mainly 2 buckets of things. Number 1 is stuff that you already do today, but just in the Vision Pro. And then the second one is things you can only do on the Apple Vision Pro. Now, let's break it down. One evening, I said, hey, I am going to just do a little bit of work, open up my laptop, have YouTube or some music playing in the background, and just sit down and chill, get some work done. But the twist was I told myself I'm gonna do everything in the Apple Vision Pro. So I strapped on my headset, and then the Apple Vision Pro connects to my laptop. So I had my laptop window all blown up. Then I used the browser within the Apple Vision Pro to open up Safari, played some background music, and I just kicked back, had my 2 windows side by side. You know, it's pretty much like having my monitor and a second screen, and I just did work. I said, hey, this is kind of cool. Again, nothing that you can't already do today, but just a little bit different. Now, the second use case of what the Apple Vision Pro can do is exclusive to the Apple Vision Pro. For anything where you really need to be hands-free, this was really cool. When I played a piano tutorial, I could layer the piano screen on top of my own piano and then have both of my hands playing the piano. When I was putting up some art on the wall and looking at some picture frames that I could order, I can be measuring everything on the wall and have the Apple Vision Pro with the browser window open on the side. But so far, the coolest thing that the Apple Vision Pro can do is what is called immersive videos. When they played the demo in the Apple Store the night I picked it up, Alicia Keys is singing right in front of you. You are on the cliff of a Norwegian fjord. You go scuba diving underwater. There's sharks in front of you. You go to a concert. You go to sporting events. It really felt like you're there. As I was using this for the past 2 weeks, there were so many moments where it just like clicked. And often it wasn't even like there was just like one big moment or epiphany, but almost multiple events in multiple little ways. The first time that you kind of get used to the weight, it was a mini epiphany. The first time I learned that you can walk up to an app and touch it was another one of these moments. One of the times I connected my computer to the Vision Pro and I could do all my work within the Vision Pro, it was one of these moments. And there are all these like little moments where it feels like, wow, I have gone to the future. And there were times when I woke up and I could not wait to put this thing back on because it's a new Apple device, the same way I would get excited for a new iPhone or a new MacBook. And then on the contrary, there were times when I couldn't wait to take it off. Like my eyes were so dry, my head was so heavy. And when I take it off, it felt like this literal weight is coming off of your head. And I thought to myself, oh, that was fun, but I'm glad I'm back in the real world. So let's try to answer the question, is this the future? Now, look, here are some of my predictions, and I'm going to do it in like a 1 to 3 year prediction, and then like really future, far out, pure imagination, speculation predictions, okay? In the 1 to 3 years, there's mainly 3 things that I think are going to happen, that I'm pretty confident will happen. Number 1, you will see this device out in the wild. According to my YouTube analytics, most of my viewers are in the US and most of them are in the 25 to 35 age range. I would say as a 25 to 35-year-old living in America, in 1 to 3 years, I'm pretty sure you will see this out in the wild. I remember the first time I saw an iPhone out in the wild and the first time I saw an iPad out in the wild, they were both in airports. You will probably see this out in the wild, probably at an airport too. The second thing that I'm going to say is there are going to be more apps in 1 to 3 years than there are today. There were some very glaringly missing apps, ones that have been in the news, such as Spotify, YouTube, and Netflix, because they all have a few beefs like going on with Apple at the moment. But even simple first-party apps that I expected to be there were not. Like when I was putting up something on the wall, the Measure app where I could use the AR with digital measuring tapes and rulers, that would have been really useful. Not there. Do I know if we're gonna have that app ecosystem tipping point where everyone starts developing on the apps? No, I have no idea. But I'm sure that there will be more apps a year from now than there are today. And the third thing is that the barriers to entry will get lower. This thing is too expensive and too heavy for most people to use today. In 1 to 3 years, I expect that this will be lighter, cheaper, and more useful, or any combination of those 3. That's what I think is very realistically likely to happen. I don't think I'm making extravagant claims by saying that. Here is where I will make some extravagant claims. From here on out, this is pure speculation. Imagine if you can go to a concert with your friends using this device. Instead of going to the concert in real life, you strap this on and then your friend straps it on. You can see each other in the immersive video at the concert together. Imagine going on a trip with some of your grandparents or whatever, and they're so old that they can't move, so you just bring them along. All they have to do is strap on their Apple Vision Pro, and then you can be out in your actual vacation, and they could join you, theoretically. You can go to places that you've never been to using this device in real time. Let's get a little bit dystopian too. Let's say every time you enter the country again, all of the agents at the border have this on, and all they need to do is just look at you and know exactly who you are. A version of that actually exists today. I have global entry, and all I need to do is go up to the kiosk, they take a picture of me, I don't need to put in any information, and then I give it to the agent, and it has all of my information already there. Except instead of going up to a kiosk, they would just have on a device like this. Very RoboCop. Right now, it's very common for a company to give you a work computer. Let's say in the future, they give you an accompanying Apple Vision Pro. So now, every time you log into work, you're required to have this bad boy on for all 8 hours of the day. On top of being able to track your desktop window, now they can track your eyes and your hands for the whole working day. Holy crap. Yeah, fuck that. So, in conclusion, what do I think of this? Am I gonna keep it? This device weirdly made me appreciate the virtual world and the real world more. When I was jacked into the Matrix, oh God, there were times when I was like, this is so cool and this is the future. And then when I took it off, I was glad I was back in the real world, looking at stuff with my own eyes. Honestly, I think this is gonna go the way of the iPad. I bet pretty much almost everyone you know has a smartphone. I bet that pretty much everyone you know has a computer. But not everyone you know has an iPad or a tablet. And for some people, like artists or some industries like restaurants, having an iPad is great. But you don't need it. You probably get by totally fine without it. And I feel like this is what the Apple Vision Pro probably will fall. You don't need this. As cool as and as fun as it was, I didn't need it. But it's definitely an inflection point in technology. You can feel that. The last time there was so much buzz around a new Apple product was probably the iPhone. A lot of my friends came over, whether they were tech forward or not, whether they thought this was the coolest thing or the scariest thing, whether they were Apple fanboys or not. Everyone could agree on pretty much two things. Number one, it was super intuitive. After I taught my friends the basic controls and navigation, they were off and running. Sign of a great Apple product. It's so intuitive and it's so seamless that things kind of work the way you expected it to. And it also creates this illusion that you've had the device for longer than you actually have. And the second thing that we could all kind of agree on was that it was cool. It was fun. Some thought this could be the future and there's gonna be a whole new market of app developers out there, a new wild, wild west that had previously not even existed, create all these jobs for Vision OS developers. And some people were like, get that thing away from me, get it off my head. But regardless of where you were on that spectrum, everyone thought, hey, that was fun. And finally, everyone had an opinion on it. I don't remember the last time all of my friends had an opinion on a tech product, right? Like they wouldn't have cared if I had come up with any other VR machine. But I had friends over just to try it out because they all wanted to just see what it was like. And so if you get the chance, I encourage you, go to the Apple Store and try it on yourself. You can sign up for a demo. Look, personally, I'm going to return this device. It's too expensive and it's too heavy. But I'm really gonna miss it. And I cannot wait to be reunited with the future reincarnation of this device. I'm gonna be looking forward to that day.